Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu Rathore and I am here to present a new course on modern India exclusively for CAPF AC 2019 exam. Uh, Starting with my introduction, I have been selected as an assistant commandant in Sasistra Seema Bal in CAPF AC 2017 exam. So we'll be starting a series from 1st of January and we'll be uploading a new lecture every Sunday. So before starting the series, we should know some basics and we should first know about the syllabus of the exam. So starting with the syllabus, what the UPSC has given, the questions will broadly cover the subject in its social, economical and political aspects, that is the social, political and economic history. This will also include areas of growth of nationalism and freedom movement. So the scholars have interpreted this syllabus and divided this in many chapters. Now, from my experience, what I have read, that we can cover the modern India part in two aspects. First is the political history part, and the second is the social, religious, and economic history. So, the topics that we'll be covering are these. The political history part will starting with the advent of the Europeans in India, how European came in India, what drove them towards India. They came as traders but established as rulers. So, what were the reasons behind it? Now, the Britishers ruled India over 200 years. So, what were the political conditions, the economic conditions that led to their conquest of India? This would be read in the second chapter. The expansion and consolidation of British power in India. They fought with the Marathas, they fought with in Bengal, they fought with the Nawab of Awadh. So, all those political history we will be reading in the third chapter. Now, the revolt of 1857. So, what were the causes of the revolt? Who were the main people behind the revolt? And what led to the failure of the revolt will be the subject matter of our fourth chapter. The growth of modern nationalism. What were the factors that led to the increase of the nationalist feelings in India? After that, we'll be studying the moderates and extremist phase, because in starting when Indian Congress was formed, the moderates used to carry out the freedom struggle. After that, the national movement 1905 to 1918, and in this time many historical events of India took place, such as the partition of Bengal, or the formation of Muslim League, or the separation of moderates and extremists, the Delhi Darbar, the Morley Minto reforms, the Home Rule League, and many more. Now, the national movement 1919 to 1939, which is also known as the Gandhian era, or which was the era of mass participation or mass movements, will be subject matter of this chapter. Non-cooperation movements, civil disobedience movements, and other movements will be studied under this chapter. Then we'll be studying the last phase, the towards freedom and partition, which will be the last phase of our political history. After this, there will be two chapters. The first chapter, the Governor General and Viceroy of India. This will be a compilation of all these chapters, and there will be significant developments. What significant developments happened in under each and every Governor General and Viceroys of India. I have made this chapter separate because many questions come from this chapter, and it will be a revision of all these chapters. And last but not the least, the Indian states. How did Britishers manage those Indian states which were not part of the British Empire? Now, the next portion will be social, religious, and economic history, and under this, we'll be covering about the various religious and social reform movements. All movements which you can think of: the Brahmo Samaj, the Arya Samaj, the Farezi movement, the Deoband school, the servants of Indian society, Mahatma Jyotirao Rao Phule, the Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar. Each and every aspect of the movements will be studied. The administrative changes that occurred after 1857. How was the administration before 1857 and after 1857? We'll be studying in this chapter. The economic impact of British rule in India. How India, which was also known as the Golden Bird, was converted into a country of poors, will be studied under this chapter. Then the development of the Indian press, the development of education, what were the major commissions that Britishers formed for the development of education will be studied under this chapter. Then the administrative aspects of British rule, how was the civil administration, how was the police, how was the judiciary. This we will read in this chapter. After that, the three chapters, the civilian rebellions, the peasant movements, and the movements of the working class. All around the British rule, there was localized movements which were occurring. And what were these movements? What led to these movements? All these will be the subject matter of all these three chapters. So this was all about the syllabus that we'll be covering in the modern history part. Now, what the sources I will be referring to? I will refer to sources, and that will be the Spectrums, A Brief History of India by Rajiv Sikri, and Modern Indian History by Vipin Chandra. You don't need to cover any other book for CAPF AC exam, and I think these two are more than enough, and I will be covering exhaustively these two books. Now, what are the unique features of the course? You will be asking that what is different in this course? There are a lot of courses in YouTube. Excuse me. First of all, this course will be free. You won't be charged for this course at any time. It's for you people. You can study whenever you want on YouTube. Now, for the concepts I will be explaining in depth, I want you to know what is the particular reason behind a decision or behind an event or behind any treaty or a war that is happening. You don't just need to go for rote cramming. You will be learning each and everything in chronological order, and you will be getting an in-depth explanation for it. Next, we will be studying history with the WWH analysis, that is what, why, when, where, and how analysis. This analysis, under this, the most important part is why and how. People who will be studying with these two aspects, they will have a good grasp at their history concepts. Otherwise, what and when are important, but for answer writing and for developing concepts, why and how are the most important part. And I will be using maps, graphs, and pictures, and sometimes I will also be involved in storytelling so that an interest is maintained while studying history, because most of the people don't like history because they think it's boring. But when you listen stories, like your granny used to tell stories, you get interested in it. So I will be using that technique also. So these were the unique features of my course. Thanks for watching everyone, and we'll be soon